everyone, just a quick video today. This is a video response for Maggie, who is Maggie White on YouTube. I will put a link to her challenge in the description box below. Maggie is having a challenge and it's a postcard challenge. And this is my postcard that I have put together this morning. This was a lot of fun and that's why I decided to take part. I've seen some of the other ladies making some and I thought, that looks like fun, just fun, and it was lovely to put together. I think we had to make a postcard 6 inches by 4 inches in our own style. We had to put our name and our YouTube name on it, our address, our favourite colour, our birthday, and the style of crafting that we prefer the most. And on the back here, this is the back. I've got my address there behind that little decoration there, and I have my birthday. I have my favorite color. I have okay, yep, I've got that, but I forgot to put my YouTube channel on it, and I didn't realize until I finished decorating it. So I've just put those little YouTube Scrap and Happy Crafts, Scrap and Happy XO Crafts. Don't even know my own YouTube name. Don't use it, do I? The back of it here was just a printout from Pinterest. It was plain. It just had postcard on it, and it had a line down the center and a box over here. I found these little stamp things on Pinterest also and just copy and pasted them over along with the stamp there, and then I just typed it onto the postcard as well and then printed it all out. So that's all done on the fabric. They're just typed out little tags with a little garment pin there. A couple of little flowers here from some fabric that Michelle sent me. Thank you, Michelle. A vintage bow and another little flower down in this corner here. I have a tiny little trim around the back, and that was from Pauline. Thank you, Pauline. And also just a lovely little vintage trim to cover it, because it looked a little bit too yellow down the bottom. There's like a shiny yellow fabric there, and so that's the back of it. And okay, this is the front, and once again the image is from Pinterest. It's a reclining lady. She's on a hammock. It was only a narrow photo, so I just kind of blurred the edge out like that just so I could have a larger picture. And there's little lines, and I didn't know there were little lines, and I'm not sure if that's the actual picture or the printer that has done that, to be honest. And on the back, I forgot to mention, there's an ever so light image of the same lady, but it's really hard to see. The camera may pick it up. It does tend to pick up things that I can't see sometimes. Okay, so I printed that out on fabric and I put some lightweight interfacing behind it. I didn't put wadding in it, and when I'd finished I thought, oh, I wish I had. But now I'm thinking I'm glad I didn't, because it would have added extra bulk to it. And it was hard keeping it as flat as possible. As you can see, it's really quite slim. So I was able to put a bow here and some flowers here because there was no wadding in it. So basically the front fabric has a lightweight interfacing, and so does the back fabric. And then in between that I put some cardstock, just a piece of cardstock. Where is it? Just some cardstock, and put that in there just to give it a little bit more stability. And whoops, and that's how I made the postcard. Okay, so she's a reclining lady and she's reading a newspaper, so I just put a little quote there, and that says, to live a creative life one must remove fear. I think that's how it goes, but you don't see all the words. That was just a little quote from the Kaisercraft Art of Life paper pack. And so I popped that there. And then, because like I said, the picture only went to there, so I laid some blue satin down like that, because of course I wanted to do a dress, because this is the sort of thing I enjoy doing. I enjoy dressing ladies and things like that, and Maggie said to do it like in your style. Now I think I have kind of a few different styles, but this is something I enjoy doing, dressing the ladies. So this it's not really lace, it's a trim, and it's a vintage trim, and it kind of comes like that. And so I've cut the blue out, and as you can see, it's got like a stitch line down the center. So I cut, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces I've cut, and then I hand stitched down the center to create the effect of a really ruffly dress, you know, romantic and ruffly. And she's laid in the hammock there. So I have this trim here because it reminded me of like the hammock tassels and trims and things like that. This is just, most things on here are from my scrap bag, so that I could use those up. I have put porcelain flowers in here because I know Maggie always uses porcelain flowers, so I put those there, and I've wound in some seam binding. Now this seam binding is glued in, and so is this dark piece here, but all the seam binding around the edge there is hand stitched into place. And this seam binding here was from Roseanne. Thank you, Roseanne. And then I went back and I stitched all different beads just randomly kind of around like that to add a little bit of sparkle, because I know Maggie likes sparkle. And I've stitched some like pinky maroony colour beads in amongst this seam binding here also. I didn't tuck a lot of things underneath because I wanted to keep it as flat as possible, and so like I said before, it's pretty flat. What else? There's some pink trim down the bottom here, and in between I've sandwiched some tulle. It's like a greeny turquoise colour tulle, just to add a little bit of colour. You can probably just see that around there. And this side kind of, I thought, oh, I want to put something there, so I've put that. And Maggie did say not to have dangles and things, but I thought, you know, that's tulle, it squashes and it springs back, so that's not going to make any difference. It's not going to get in the way at all. That's just a scrap bit of green scarf. There's a little flower under there from Zeffie. Thank you, Zeffie. And I think that's it. I'm looking at it, and I think that's it. So that's my postcard for Maggie, and I hope she likes it. It's a little bit different. Most of the ones I've seen are all very shabby chic, so I hope you don't mind this being a little bit more colourful, Maggie. But I absolutely loved making it. It's so much fun, and I know everybody seems to be having a really good time making it, and they are very easy, and you know, they don't take too long, and if you're just gluing it, it wouldn't take long, you know, barely any time at all. So I think that's it. So thank you for the challenge, Maggie. This will go into the mail probably towards the end of next week. Usually it takes about a week to get to the United States. So I think the challenge ends at the beginning of November. So I have all of October to get it there. So that should be fine. So once again, I'll put the link in the description box below. So do pay her a visit and join in on the challenge. I'm sure she would love to have you join in, and I'm sure you will enjoy making a postcard for Maggie. Okay, take care everybody, and thank you so much for watching.